All right. Hello, everyone. We're live. Welcome to the last live stream of October. Welcome, everyone, in the live chats and on the panel. I have with me Stevo, Arendt, Ook, and Blarg. Neil and John said that they can't make it, so it'll just be the five of us.
Yay.
Cool. And I'm having.
yeah,
If you're
go
wondering
ahead.
why my avatar is all black, it's not. StreamYard seems to be having trouble uploading.
I see.
It's like it's coming out either all black or corrupt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know there's like a limit in the resolution and the size of the file. Craig Kelly says, a man comes home, his wife is naked. What's this about? I put on the dress of love for you. You could have at least ironed it.
I've had a long day and I've only been up half an hour.
You'll live.
All right.
Tell you what.
Yeah, go ahead.
When Blarg and
No,
I met up at the Moorfield Tavern, a nice little place, first time I've ever been there. He knew, you could tell it's an Australian pub. We're in the beer garden. And what was the lizard that was running around? It was about 1.5 foot, close to 2 foot.
Which is, I don't know, can anyone hear me?
Yeah, just.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a bit shit. I told everyone that I was on the road again. So we'll see how we go. But yeah, maybe something like that. 2 foot water dragon.
Yeah, you're good enough.
If you want to type in Q to go Australian water dragon, you'll see the nice thing that was running around underneath our table and whatnot. I didn't bother to get a photo. It was that commonplace I forgot. But, yeah, you're in Australia when the wildlife is actually running around your feet while you're in the garden.
Yeah.
But,
That'd be fun.
It was good to catch up with him. And he can verify that this is one of the hats, a little English flat cap, that I basically wear pretty much everywhere. I was just brought up wearing hats, so I can't wear my Akuba in the Volvo because of the headrest. And so I wear this. But so Blarg did have some very derogatory things to say about my in 3 months 30 years old Volvo. Because it hasn't been washed in 5 years. It's getting a wash tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure the last time I washed my truck either, I've got to say.
Yeah. And rain doesn't,
I try to keep it out of the rain till it leaks a bit.
Yeah, probably too small. The one on the left side of the screen.
Now I've got this.
Over here, the one top left. Yeah.
So it looks like an iguana.
Yeah, a little bit like an iguana.
They change their color depending on the.
So a cross between an iguana and a chameleon. Nice.
But with a lot more teeth.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I don't know if iguanas have a lot of teeth. They are nasty.
do they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really powerful bite apparently.
Yeah, the green ones.
Hang
on. Yeah.
I want to.
Nice plaid, isn't it? Tilted. Stop strobing out, you bugger. All right.
Yeah, I think Craig missed it, but
I'll
yeah,
shut up.
John and Neil aren't able to make it. John had some family commitment, and Neil, I guess, is a little bit under the weather. He said he has a cold. So,
Well, I hope he feels better soon.
yep. Anyway, so for this week, per the email I sent, I think I sent it. I can't remember, but I did want to talk about sort of the little bit of I guess you could say a clusterfuck from last stream. And FYI, I had made it unlisted for a few days, just because I didn't want to publicize, but people were making comments. People, us as in us, as well as one person who seemed to be associated with Village. But then I made it private for the last few days, and just for today, I'm making it unlisted so that I can kind of show the comments, and then we can kind of talk about the comments. But just as a background, I think most of the people here were here last week.
Yep.
I think Blarg, yeah, I mean, you weren't there, but I think you had a chance to at least listen
Yeah, I
to
listened
some
to
of
it all the way through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pushback? I don't think so, Craig.
Oh, pushback? Any more pushback? No, probably not. I mean, since like I said, since I put it on unlisted and then eventually private, people couldn't even really see it. And I think the initial pushback from the Cable 101 really was, from whatever organization that Village was associated with, or may even be her, who knows.
It does look like that organisation is like a thing that exists, and it may well be that she went and told her story to them, and then she, for some reason, because they are religious as well, so which I found kind of interesting that in amongst all of it, they're a religious organisation. So hence, I guess, why they sort of attacked. Like, oh my God, you can't have atheists saying bad things. Yeah,
it was kind of weird, that they were kind of making a comment about what's the thing it said, that it has embarrassed its atheist claims by showing it in fact has a profound dislike at claims that paints God in a negative light. I mean, it makes like no sense. Why would atheists have any issues with claims that paint God in a negative light? So why would atheists get upset that to hear that the church and Christians in general are a bunch of hypocrites who scam their worshipers, their believers, and sexually assault them and take their money, etc.? Why would atheists have an issue or somehow have objection to having those negative things come to light? We obviously want it to come to light because it demonstrates sort of the harm that religion can do.
that's weird.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird take. And then this Willow account that came on, I thought maybe it was same as Village, but it may not be. You can't really tell because, when this person says that they have or they am a career, meaning I guess they have a career of. Oh, I'm a carer. Yeah, okay, they're a carer. Yeah, so. Carer of mentally unwell parents, and so it sounds like it's a different person, but who knows? Who knows if it's the same?
Far be it from me to make armchair diagnoses, but something says. Something. This may take at least one factor of, like, I think it's like dissociative identity disorder or something, and. could be part of a system. But then again, take that with a truckload of, take that with a mindful of salt.
Yeah, I mean, I as we said last week, is we I mean, we weren't. I don't think John was trying to necessarily make some diagnosis of that person, but I think he was trying to make a point that someone who have like a mental trauma could have these diluted views of things,
It's possible.
and somehow that was taken in some
Yeah.
negative, like
Like,
anti-mental health
just
thing.
none of it made any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was going nowhere. And we,
Yeah, the story didn't make any sense. Like, going
Yeah, as I said in my
Yeah,
comment
yeah,
on screen.
Dropping out.
Oops, sorry, Blarg.
Yeah, Blarg, you were roboting. I guess
something
he's now-
here as well.
He's-
So
Yeah, yeah, we couldn't hear most of what you said, Blarg.
any better now? Anything? No.
Are you traveling right now?
I think he is. I think he said that early in the comments. He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
So yeah, sorry, you're maybe if we wait a little bit, you'll get a little better connection. But I think I mentioned it in the comments or in the email. There on Twitter, someone did reach out to me who who followed the Cable 101, the Twitter account. So this was like a few months back. So it seems like this whole thing was kind of in the works for a while, because I think they were saying, oh, that they wanted to challenge me or something, but it was just kind of like a bizarre little thing. So I had forgotten about it. And when I saw, the Cable 101 as the commenter, that's where I kind of saw the connection.
We can stop and
But-
claim you if you want.
But yeah, it does seem like they're sort of weird. It's kind of a weird
stop it, please.
organization.
Give you if you want, so you can do anything.
Oh, is he in like a drive-through or something?
Yeah, well, that's what it sounds like, but I can't be for sure.
Oh wait, why can't I mute his mic?
He's administrator now, remember?
Oh, is that why I can't mute his mic? That's weird. Yeah, it looks like because he's an admin. Although he shows up as a guest. Oh,
Okay.
I couldn't mute him because I think he was kind of losing connection.
Ah.
Yeah, he said. Yeah, he has bad reception area in chat.
Would it be possible to post helpline number for help with trauma mentioned in the original live? Yes. Oh, he's back. Yeah. Oh, I can't add him. Okay, now I add him.
One thing I was going to say, read that, Craig and Q, we all forgot Recovering from Religion and Secular Therapy Project. I think if Q and everyone else is agreeable, can you work that into like the show's notes?
Yeah, I
Their
can
links.
put it in the show's notes, but yeah, recovering from religion, yeah, certainly that's probably one of the first things that people with the kind of experiences that were mentioned last week should be reaching out to, because
Be right back, all.
The Secular Therapy Project, they actually don't try and talk people out of their religion. They just They're there for therapy, non-religious-based therapy.
Yeah.
So, and they're worldwide too, which is pretty good.
And in general, I think if you are getting mental health care, it's probably better, I would say, getting it from more of a secular therapist rather than someone who's based in religion. Because the secular therapist, I think, is more likely to be using kind of evidence-based type of treatment rather than a God-based treatment, because uh, that's not going to help you. Praying to God isn't going to help you. I think people who do get benefit from you know religion and praying and all that, uh, I think it's more of kind of a placebo effect, and also we know that things like meditation helps, and prayer is kind of a type of meditation. The problem really comes down when people somehow think that there's some supernatural deity that's going to directly help them, and that's I don't think that's going to give a long-term benefit to people who need the type of mental health care that they should be getting.
It's difficult because I know that some churches or denominations actually have clergy who are trained psychiatrists.
Yep.
And all that sort of thing. Last week, I was just spitballing ideas because the way I read it is this person has had some sort of mental trial or some sort of traumatic events revolving around what I can only work out as she saw a prayer as a curse and needed it lifted.
That's what I was getting to.
Which was why I was saying, well, try the Catholicism. They actually have a whole department too. Dispensations and the Office for the Holy, whatever the Inquisition is called now. They have actually all their inquisitors are trained psychologists, as well as they usually have a psychology degree and at least two other degrees, usually a doctorate in something as well, because they're the ones that got to go out and confirm whether that person is possessed by a demon, or that miracle worked, or this one is bullshit and they just need more therapy. So yeah, and it seemed that the person last week really, I think, instead of trying to stop her religious beliefs, the first thing was get the proper medical help you need first, whether it's wherever you can. And I found it just strange. I was hesitant to call bullshit on I've been to 95 different churches and they've all affirmed the same thing. But,
that was an extraordinary claim.
Strange things happen.
I didn't want to get into the details, specifics, because the whole idea was that, they claimed that they had proof of God and evidence of God. And I just got thrown off when they towards the end, when they brought up Satan, or, said that they went to the Church of Satan or something. And it was just that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was where, okay, that's it.
That was going way off the rails there.
I mean,
yeah.
No doubt, to her, she experienced everything as she related, as best she related. We tried. Everyone tried.
Yeah.
John really tried.
Yeah.
Um,
Go
we
ahead.
couldn't
Sorry.
do anything. Yeah.
Well, and I just wanted, because initially before they got on, they, were giving Bible quotes and stuff. So I just wanted to try to stick with the subject of trying to get them to, provide some argument or evidence for God. And, every time I try to, remind them of that, they're like, well, I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to do that. And it never really got to it. It just kind of got stuck in this whole, I wanted to keep talking about my trauma and how bad it is. And
Yeah, we literally told her, you don't have to go into great detail. Just simplify it and get to the point. So the whole point, I don't know what the whole point of going all that was, just otherwise being a trauma dump.
yeah. Well, so I was trying to get into sort of at least, kind of constructing an argument for them, that, okay, so, there's this, they had gotten some prayer and it seemed like that they, because they were not listening to it or did not believe
Mhm.
it or whatever, that it got worse. And, there's all these priests that said that, that's kind of what God would do if you did not kind of come back into the fold and all that. So I thought the argument was going to be, well, like, because they were saying, uh, I, I had heard voices saying that, these things were going to happen and they kind of happened. And I thought they were going to say, and when I went back and started believing, then everything got fixed. I thought that's what the argument was going to be. But they kept on saying that that wasn't it. And that's where I just, I just couldn't get anything coherent from, really what they were trying to say about the existence of God. And then when they kind of invoked Satan, that was like, okay, at this point, it's just like, there isn't even an argument for us to engage with. So,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I mean, it came out as like some argument for the existence of the Abrahamic God by way of like misotheism, which
yeah.
a lot of cultists, a lot of those cultist types seem to mistake, the more vocal atheists as being.
Yeah. And in general, I mean, okay, so let's just kind of move off of her and just kind of talk about that type of argument in general. Like, I heard a voice, or, I was told that, or these kind of bad things happened to me when I left God, kind of thing. And they'll bring up the Job story, where God is apparently testing them. Um, it doesn't amount to any evidence, because they're just kind of making connections to, or these kind of arguments, they're just making connections to events to, kind of confirm their existing beliefs. So just because something happened, some bad thing happened, and you thought that, something bad was going to happen if you leave God, and that doesn't mean God caused it to happen. It's kind of ridiculous to believe that somehow there's some supernatural deity that's doing these things to specific individuals, right? To teach them a lesson or to bring them back into a fold. Because I think most Christians, when they are kind of given this argument back, would say that that their God respects free choice, and therefore a God would not do anything direct that could be, that could be used as an evidence for his existence. Because if God were to show himself, that means somehow our free will would, to believe in him, would be somehow affected by that. So to even make that connection is nonsensical. I mean, it doesn't make sense at all that there would be a deity that would do something like that. But a lot of times that's what they do. I mean, they kind of, have their cake and eat it too, kind of, to, say that God can't demonstrate themselves, as an evidence for their existence, because that would somehow affect our free will. But at the same time, they'll come and say God is doing X, Y, and Z, to test my resolve or test my faith or whatever. I mean, it's nonsensical. Logically, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, to me, it's the whole sharpshooter fallacy.
Yep.
And even for people who say, well, I believe in God, but he's an arsehole. It's still pretty much the sharpshooter fallacy all over again. Count the hits, ignore the miss.
Yeah.
It just, yeah.
Well, and also, the dangers of, I heard a voice, and, they weren't necessarily saying that they know for sure that it was from God. But anytime someone says that they heard a voice that's, said X, Y, and Z, especially if it's like something that tells them to do something, and you think that that's God telling you to do that thing, that's really, really dangerous. And there are plenty of cases of people who have committed atrocities, like drowning their kids, by putting them in a car and pushing it into a lake because they thought God told them to do that. And I say that specifically because there is a case where I can't remember her name, but she basically claimed that God told her to do that. And by the way, the courts did not believe that.
Wasn't there a Amish woman who drowned her baby and husband?
In like a bathtub or something.
Right? No, in the lake.
In a lake.
In the last few months.
I don't know about that story. I know there was a story years ago about a woman drowning her 3 kids in a lake by leaving the car and pushing a vehicle into the lake to drown them. Or she drove it in there and got out and left them in there. I don't know exactly the exact details.
Yeah, that's the one I was.
Okay, that's one you referred to. Okay.
But there was an Amish woman who claimed that she was testing her faith by throwing her 4-year-old son into a lake where he drowned.
Yes,
and she was charged with murder. Oh, and this is from the Christian Post.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah. This was only a month ago. Wow.
Yeah. It's only recent. The husband, I think they're still looking for, because she said the husband was like Jonah.
Oh, really?
With the fish.
Oh.
And yeah, I saw it on one of those, the crime cam things. I do have a guilty pleasure about watching, criminals get tased. Well, dumb criminals get tased.
I mean, the thing is, like, at the end of the day,
recommendations for you, Ook. Radical the Unhallowed Night, among other people, has a few of those covers a few of those kind of videos.
Is it a YouTube channel?
What?
Is it a YouTube channel you're talking about?
Yes.
Or what do you mean? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, basically reactions to dumb criminals getting tased videos.
Oh, look, John was able to make it. Hey, John.
Hello.
Hey, I had said, someone had told me that you would not be able to make it today because you had a family obligation. But I knew that you care less about your family than about us.
It is true. It is true. Well, I mean, it is all relative, of course.
As it should be.
So, yeah, no, I had a thing. I thought it was going to take longer, but it didn't. So, I'm here.
Yay!
So we had just got done talking about last week's discussion, but since you are here, I was curious, and I did want to ask you. You dropped out at the end when she kind of was starting having a fit with like this outrage that her assuming that you are somehow diagnosing her psychiatry. So
yeah,
what happened there?
Okay, so to me, there was a couple things that were going on there, and it became clear that if my mere presence was going to be causing that level of a disruption for somebody on what appeared to me to be a corrosively psychological level, that I was going to opt out, so that way so that just my being there wasn't causing more harm than yeah. So that's that. I had put into the comments section, "Hey, I'm out," but I had pressed the eject button before I pressed the send button. So which,
all right.
But yeah, no,
that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's what happened
because she would not listen, right? Yeah. She would not listen to you and me both explaining to her, no, that's not what it was. It was just first of all, you were kind of asking questions just to make sure, okay, do you understand this aspect of it, right?
Right.
And it wasn't you saying you are crazy off your rockers, lady. Just
no. Yeah, no, I was absolutely not doing that. I'm not qualified to do that. That wasn't my intent. And I even said later in the conversation, hey, if that's how it's coming across, that wasn't my intent. And I do apologize if that's causing you distress, because that's not what I wanted to have. That wasn't what I was trying to do. So that, and if you listen to the apology that I made there, I was trying to be as clear as possible.
So I mean, if we didn't want to be charitable, we could have said that because her argument wasn't making any headway, or because it was just getting so ridiculous, that she felt that this was just her way of kind of trying to get on top of the discussion, right? To try to, show that take some umbrage and try to use that to, kind of put us in kind of or put herself in the moral right. And and at least in terms of like the comments that came in afterward, it kind of seemed like that was the case, right? If we look at how this person, this Cable 101, was trying to say that somehow we and brought up male and female kind of thing, and said the 5 responses of 5 males to a female account that contained details of violence. Yeah, I mean, it's like we at no point trivialize her experience, and I don't think any of us directly try to say that she was making up or anything like that, right? We wanted to get past that, right? And also that wasn't really the whole point of the discussion anyway, right? And we were actually trying to get her to not go into the details of these things, because that wasn't really what the point was. All this could have been summarized by she had some bad things happen, that's and the church and the pastors reinforced that and placed the blame on me, and so that's all she all that like hour-long discussion could have been just boiled down to a few sentences and say, therefore, here's the reason why I think God exists. Right. But she refused to get into the argument.
And in fact, when I started talking to her, the first thing I said was, what you had happen to you was horrible and shouldn't have happened. And she cut me off. And I don't even remember what she said, but basically she was dismissing my acknowledgement of what had happened to her. So I was not trying to lessen. I was not trying to belittle. I was not trying to diminish in any way, shape, or form any aspect of her story in terms of it being something horrible and nasty and terrible and should never have happened. But it wasn't an argument for the existence of God.
Yeah.
And that's what it boils down to, is that nowhere in what she articulated was evidence of anything other than she having significant trauma and not being at a point where she is looking to have that trauma addressed by professionals who can actually address the trauma.
Yeah.
That was sort of the takeaway that I got.
Yeah, and this comment and the other comment by Willow, it seems so disingenuous. And I think one of the response was that this,
if
it
they
didn't seem
are,
like, yeah,
if they are
Right.
genuine, I mean, it's. I mean, if they are genuine professionals, yeah, I mean, yeah, like I mean, as I said in my comment here, it's like, would they? I mean, I asked them if they would be willing to wager their professional credentials and reputations on defending their statements.
Yeah, it's
Well, I'd be a little
crickets.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Am I better now?
A little.
Little bit.
Hello. Yeah, I was. It's a bit iffy. It's like saying the Discovery Channel is professional. I guess there may be professionals there, but their whole purpose is to push God. So, yeah, it's a bit iffy if you ask me.
So there's a lot that I heard, and I've been really wrestling with how to articulate this in a way that doesn't come across as minimizing any aspect. I heard a lot of correlation. I didn't hear any causation. So there's this idea of, there's this passage in the Bible, and then these things happen to me. And so because I see parallels between those two, that must mean that it's true. So that's not how that works. It became very clear to me that the whole experience was doing way more harm than good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and that was why I had removed the video or removed it from being public. But I think one of the comments that Craig had made was trying to vet some of these people, and I think as I responded to him, I don't have the time to like pre-vet some of these people, and my feeling is that if it gets to a point where a particular guest, it just goes off the rails. At that point, I either kick them out or do what I did this time, where I just don't publicize the live stream. So here's the Twitter account I was talking about, the Whistler, and they had kind of and the reason why I associate with them is because this person account follows, or following followers, I think following. They seem to be associated with the cable one. Yeah,
there it is.
The cable news.
I think, I don't know, from what it appears, they might be the New York office of the cable news. If I read their... Me? No.
No, I'm saying them.
No idea.
The thing is, like, it's a very small account. They just have like 256 followers, and at the time, it was even less than that. But the way that this person kind of, wanted me to sort of engage them. So they sent me to like a YouTube channel where, a YouTube video where it had like 8 views, and it's like, okay. And this is this community of researchers. So they are talking about the Cable 101, because the Cable 101 is, they kind of say something about their community of researchers. They actually say, we are a team of researchers, journalists, students, and volunteers, male and female. So I think that person, that Whistler 101, is part of that, and they somehow engaged me back in August, and then eventually that Village account, was pretty much newly created at the time. So it was like, it seems to be some kind of an alt account that was created just to kind of come in and have this discussion.
That's reasonable to think of, yes.
Soho's on a. The Whistler lists themselves as Soho, and that's like a posh district rather posh district in NYC. Posh neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Like, you can put in anything.
Like, Craig, even a basement costs a pretty penny.
More than I can afford a year.
Well, no, but the thing says in our dreams. So it's not saying that they are in Soho.
Okay.
But, they aspire to be in Soho. So
I have an old friend of mine who is a realtor in Manhattan, and the prices for the stuff, the units that they move and the prices that people pay for them is just absolutely absurd. It is ridiculous.
Yeah. Especially in Manhattan.
I'd say, I'd have to say a coffin apartment's got to be like $2,000 a month over there.
$2,000, no, well, you can get a tiny little studios for $2,000 a month in Manhattan.
Yeah,
unless you get like
that's what I meant by a coffin apartment.
Oh, okay. Oh, coffin apartment. Okay, I didn't hear that.
Well, tinier than a studio.
Basically, a bed and the stove. That's it.
Yep, that's about right.
Think Corbin Dallas's apartment from The Fifth Element, if that.
Yeah. So I did live in Manhattan when I was attending school there, and I was just kind of, and it wasn't really sublet, but I just got a tiny little room in a 3-bedroom apartment, and it was actually a fairly nice apartment, but it was just like a tiny little room, and even that, it was pretty expensive. But
yeah, 4 years ago, that was. Until 2 years ago, that was my living situation, living with my brother and my brother and his fam.
Blarg is trying to enter twice. So Blarg, there were like 2 instances of you. Oh, now there's just one. Okay.
A doppelganger?
Can you hear us, Blarg?
Yeah.
To answer Craig's most recent comment, possibly desperation.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get why they somehow like
or genuinely mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, I have like 300 followers, so I'm not sure why they wanted to like come on. But
they are a church. They are there pushing churches, so it may be that they're.
Looks like
they just wanted, or maybe they just thought they'd finally be heard.
Out to attack atheists as well. I don't know.
That falls under desperation in my book. The desperation to be heard.
Well, yeah.
Or they could just be branching out and trying to see it to other targets. Like they're going after pedos and stuff. Well, now they're probably trying to target, I don't know, atheists, unbelievers, just to try to get views. Like Aaron said, desperation.
The desperation for the desperation for the crumbs of clicks and views.
That's
chasing the almighty algorithm dollar.
Yep.
Okay, so I don't want to take up the whole time talking about Village. I was going to have, before I realized that I had already set this up, I did want to talk about some of the comments that were coming on the AXP. Comments.
Okay.
Specifically, I wanted to, because we haven't really talked about this in this channel, but about evolution. Because I think I just saw a notification from a comment by Ook in there saying that Neppy is cooking again.
Oh, yes. I got to
him. Oh, boy. Yep.
I got to him day or two ago.
Yeah.
Cooking and
Did we lose someone?
cooking and recooking, processing and reprocessing, so that rotted copy pasta.
Oh yeah.
Florida wank stains over on Matt Dillahunty's channel. Spamming all over there now. So.
Oh, so what account is he using to do that? Is he using his Florida account?
Train Pipe Win.
Oh, he's doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
What is it?
The Train Pipe
Win. Yeah, Train Pipe Win.
Oh.
Which any of the videos that he's got there or playlists are of him. Yeah. No, I'm not sure what weight division he'd be in. But low.
Which video is he commenting on?
What do I see him on?
Well, that's one of his right there. The Bork-Ren Blanston one. That's one of his.
No, that's not Florida. That's Neppy, right?
Oh, I'm thinking Neppy. Sorry, my bad. My bad. Got it mixed up.
I think it was the last one. Hang on, I'll find out. Give us a mo.
Yeah. So there seem to be, and Neppy, and who's the other one? That COP or whatever. I don't know.
CP 8032 or something like that.
Oh, okay. Wait. John's back. John dropped out.
Yep. Sorry about that. Glitch with the computer.
Yeah. Where is it? I thought it was here.
That CP account.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like he's actually those other new accounts, which also means he's some of the earlier ones. Because there was this a moment where all of them got 7 likes, and he got 7 likes at the exact same moment, and you're like, ooh, that is suspicious.
Yeah,
and it kind of fits his style.
Okay.
Yeah, they log in with their other sock puppet accounts, and they give themselves likes to try and boost their comments.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like
such
a futile thing to do.
6. Yeah, Wankstein usually has 6 likes.
7.
That's the sin of pride, ain't it? Or at least that would mean, under my loose interpretation.
Well, that presupposes that they're capable of having any sense of pride in what they do.
Fair enough.
I'm convinced that my little sock puppet. I am convinced that they've got a shame fetish. I'm absolutely convinced that they're doing it so that people can dogpile on them, so that they can get that gratification. It's just their behavior is just too consistent with that pathology.
Well, I mean, they might think that they are winning when they get those comments, So, I mean, it's kind of like, oh, I got all these like atheists riled up, kind of thing.
It's like, I'm being persecuted. I'm being persecuted. That means I'm right.
But it's the same comments. They copy and paste the same thing over and over again. And that's what leads me to think that they're doing it for the purpose of being called out for the behavior, so that they can get that sense of shame, get that part of their psyche scratched. That's why I think it's more of a shame fetish rather than a sense of winning, owning the atheists. At least that's my hypothesis. I'll never get.
I feel like they feel that they are winning because
pride born of shame.
Well, and that whenever that there's a response, they just say, well, they couldn't actually understand or actually answer my question, and therefore I won.
Yeah.
In times Christian Hessen.
Anyone seen my comment about Neppy and the Daleks?
And the Daleks?
Daleks.
Wait, no, I missed this.
Davros, the creator and leader of the Daleks. Hang on, I'll post it in here. I think I've got it saved.
I'm out. I keep myself out of the loop on AXP and those other comment pits. Because that.
Okay, this one I had heard before, John. So this is
Yeah,
a repeat.
I've heard something similar. So
okay, so I will tell you about an actual conversation that I had in my office a couple days ago. So they were talking about different languages, and somebody said that the German language has, I think, 28 letters to it. And somebody in the office said, asked how many letters were in the English alphabet, to which the response was 26 letters. And I immediately piped in with, yes, but the Arctic alphabet only has 25 letters. They go, really? Yeah. There's no L.
Blarg the barely here.
Oh, I get it now.
There it is.
It hit me. Okay, I got it. That is funny.
Well, welcome to the holidays. I haven't been asked to come back to the office since.
Oh, sorry if you heard that.
It's all right.
I wasn't expecting a message.
So for this one, who's the? I'm trying to find. Oh, here it is. So he's given up on spamming the AXP. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's what it looks like for now.
I don't know. I think some of the new troll accounts are him, especially that one that changes the language all the time.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
But that can't possibly be Florida. Florida said that he was wiping his hands and leaving us.
Yeah, 2-minute warning or many left behind or something.
Millions or something like that. No,
Yeah.
I can't do that one.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure those are CP.
Yeah.
Okay. What was that? 9 something. Oh.
Yeah, 7 likes on his on all of those accounts. A moment after the thing is posted, including the CP account itself, and you're like, wow, that is, far too coincidental. They're all at the same moment, and
Yeah. It's like he's got multiple windows open, post the same thing at the same time. Yep, that's about right.
Do you guys remember Ed Gein?
Yes.
Geggy poo.
Yeah. So he.
Testicular typing method.
So this person had, I guess, watched that video, and he had, I guess, he was familiar with him, and I don't know if this is like the new name that Ed uses, Orthodox Faithful, but apparently he's very active on the Gusset Gibbons channel. So I haven't gone and seen that, but he does. This guy seems to be very familiar with Ed. But anyway, so just in terms of the topic I wanted to talk about, so in the last couple videos there, with COP and all that, this whole evolution seems to keep coming up where, they're saying, oh, there's no evidence of evolution, or there's there are no transition fossils, all this other stuff. I was trying to find some of these comments. A lot of them are from Nepia, of course, and also I think COP continuing to say that there's no evidence of evolution. So I did want to talk about it a little bit.
Garnet is fun.
Oh, Garland Garnet.
Yeah,
it's like, is he actually? I thought maybe he was just.
He types with his balls.
Yeah.
Because it's all his posts are just. He's a godling, but he's absolutely insane.
Balance.
Yeah. He's insane.
I mean, the thing is, it wasn't clear that whether he was just kind of being misunderstood as being a Christian or whether he really is.
None of his posts make enough. He's too. Yeah, his grasp of English is worse than mine. So I mean, people's got no idea. Yeah, the millions disappear. And the 9-inch nails is the
That's what I
guy
was trying
who,
to.
Yeah, that's the one that keeps on doing the multiple different translations of.
so you reckon
it.
Blarg reckons that's DK donkey, is it?
Is that donkey
don't
or
know.
Florida?
It might be donkey because donkey showed up again.
That's CP, cheese pizza.
Oh, CP.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that tracks. No,
Yeah, I
that
think
does
all
track.
of them are.
Yeah, it's but it's just funny. Like there is so much spam from these guys, and there's so many of these accounts here. Like Jewish carpenter, millions disappear.
I
Paul
mean, not to be
Tarsus.
mean, but to be honest, I think the comment section and the trolls at AXP are probably one of the only few things that are keeping it going at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. At least the comment section. The funny thing is like the AXP comment section does for the AXP is definitely not more active than the other the ACA channels, like Truth Wanted and some of those other ones.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so desperate that Truth Wanted and Talk Heathen that they get Benji on every week. That guy from Alabama who has been died 27 times or something, been hit by a train, and I think I'll be an atheist this week. No, I'm not. I'm Gnostic. No, I'm Gnostic. Yeah. He always comes on and sounds like he's, 52 sheets to the wind.
Leave that comment up.
Yeah, this is his common one.
You're dying.
Yeah.
No shit.
Smile. Nurgle loves you.
You're dying, therefore God exists. Yeah, that's
for those not familiar with the Warhammer franchise, Nurgle is the chaos god of decay. Pestilence and decay.
Yeah, I am not familiar with that franchise.
Yeah, they were familiar with that. Blood for the blood god.
That is Khorne.
Really?
Yes, Khorne.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yes. Skulls for the Skull Throne.
So then much I know.
Blood for the blood god. Skull for the skull throne.
All right. So I couldn't find those comments where evolution kept on coming up. Maybe it was like the video prior to that. But oh wait, did Craig? Oh, okay. So here's my my take on evolution. So evolution itself is a matter of fact. It's an observed fact. We see evolution happen. And the science of evolution, which what all these like Christians and creationists seem to object to, is just a model, the scientific model that tries to explain the phenomena of evolution. And within that model, there's definitely still work being done. No scientist says, okay, we have 100% understanding of exactly how this works and all that, because there still work going on in terms of, like, for example, trying to understand what other ways that traits can be inherited down. For example, previously we didn't even know that DNA, when Charles Darwin came up with theory of evolution, they didn't know that it was DNA that was transmitting those traits. And now, and once DNA was found to be what encodes genes, initially people thought that was it. That's how traits get transmitted. But we know that it's more than just the DNA. There's kind of epigenetic factors and there seems to be other ways that some of these traits get transmitted down. One example is things like migration, migratory paths and all that. That's not encoded, quote unquote, encoded in DNA itself, as in, there is no specific gene that says this is the migratory path for a salmon, or a bird, there's kind of different, like I said, epigenetic factors, meaning outside of genes, that somehow allows the offspring to at least get some way to remember what that migratory path is. So we know that there's more than DNA, and there may be a lot of different ways. Especially if you look into how like developmental pathways work. So all these like very different specific details and nuances, those go into the model of evolution, and it isn't set in stone. So there's still continuing to work being done, but that doesn't disprove evolution. It just means that like with any aspects of science and scientific models, it's not 100% done. Like the Big Bang theory, that doesn't explain all of cosmology. There's still a lot of work being done, and of the three science, I guess, aspects of science that creationists doubt, the Big Bang, evolution. The third one is abiogenesis. And abiogenesis definitely has a lot more to go. There's a lot more question, and it may be that we never figure out exactly what the specific mechanism, what the pathways were for abiogenesis on Earth. However, there is still a lot that we know, and kind of a lot of the potential models are based on actual evidence that we gather. But going back to evolution, as I said, the model may still be in development, or there may be little, specific detailed aspects that are still in question. But what is not in question is that evolution definitely happens. And that's because, when we know, since we know that we have populations of organisms, and those populations of organisms inherit traits, that by definition is evolution. It is fundamentally, that's what evolution is. That over time, these distribution of traits in a population changes, because every time there is a death or life, it changes the distribution of the traits. So that aspect is a pure, like, it almost is a brute fact. It happens. And so for when creationists say evolution is false, what they are actually saying is that, our current model, the scientific model of evolution, is somehow wrong. And like I said, even though you can question different aspects of it, the big parts of the model stands, and there's no way to topple that over unless you come up with a completely different model. And there's no way any of those creationists can do that. They don't have anything to even dispute any part of the actual current model. But they continue to sort of not understand the difference of that evolution as a matter of fact happens, and how that is distinct from the science of evolution. So I've made kind of various different comments to that effect, but I did want to kind of have that discussion here. Is there any, like, does anyone here have kind of issues or objections or disagreements with that description?
Not really. I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
I mean, like, young Earth creationists, or any creationists, really have to, they refuse to just read any evolution for dummies, and they believe in Pokemon evolution. Things just pop into existence.
Creation. That reminds me, there's a video play channel called Creation Myths that responded to standing for, in a paper by so-called Standing for Truth Ministries, that tried to use Pokemon itself as an argument against Pokemon evolution as an argument against. I mean, Pokemon evolution as an argument against the actual theory
Paid income. They actually
A
tried to
part
use it.
of, a part of it is a misunderstanding. I think a part of it, might be a well, I don't know if the Japanese word for evolution, shinka, also, if I remember correctly, also refers to insect metamorphosis. And the creator of, the creator of the game, the creator of the game may have intended that because Pokemon was inspired by his. The creator of Pokemon was inspired by catching bugs as a child.
Ah, okay.
But you're right. It is like they do kind of think that evolution means like some individual organism changes. The idea of evolution being a population-based phenomena, it just doesn't seem to stick in their minds.
It's like they're expecting flash, basically expecting flash metamorphosis. It's like flash metamorphosis. No, no, means something akin to like magical something akin to like magical transmutation.
Right. So their argument boils down to the mom and dad are an alligator and their son is a duck. Like I've heard that argument before.
Yeah.
The infamous crocoduck.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
Well, no, because part of the approach that creationists that I've seen do rather consistently is that they'll try to create a false dichotomy. If they can create doubt in evolution, they want it to then mean, therefore, that their argument is true by default. And what I've noticed consistently is if you ask a creationist, what evidence do you have that your explanation is the better explanation? Because if you say, let's just take evolution off the board completely. Let's just ignore it. It doesn't exist. Poof, gone. What is your evidence that supports your claim? And when you actually nail them down, they can never back up anything that they claim, ever. I have never once heard a single creationist argument that they could back up with even one shred of anything closely resembling any kind of documentation that backs up their claims at all, ever. They have a 100% fail rate from everything I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's like I said, the difference between the model of evolution and the evolution itself. So if you say that the model of evolution, the current scientific model, is wrong, and you, like you said, take it off the table. So now you have the phenomena of evolution that's happening. Now explain it with your God. So if you want, if they want to,
except Nebi goes to great lengths repeatedly over and over and over to say that the phenomenon doesn't happen either because it's only possible. So this is why he keeps going on about entropy. It's only possible for things to get worse. Everything's dying. Everything's getting worse. And mutations only cause bad things. So therefore, the phenomenon of evolution cannot happen. Which is, he also knows he's a liar in this because that's why he asks for when was the last time you saw an anatomy change? And you're like, an anatomy change is something that takes like millions of years to go from a leg to a flipper or vice versa. It's not something that can happen in a couple of generations, which is why he keeps asking for it because he knows damn well that event can't ever be observed in real time. And it's basically the same as me asking for video of the stone rolling back from the empty tomb.
Well, and he also he'll flip flop on his standards of argumentation. He flip flops on that constantly. When he'll start by demanding evidence, but when you ask for evidence, he says that it's about who has the stronger argument. So then when you start to debunk his argument, he tries to go back to evidence. So the one thing he does consistently over and over again is his moving of the goalposts. And like one of the things he asks is what is the step-by-step process of evolution or of the universe being created. He demands a step-by-step process. But when you ask him for that step-by-step process, then he'll either ignore you, call you kid or whatever, or he just rage quits. In one sense, arguing about Nepi is kind of like arguing about water. He never stays in one place. He is one of the most consistently intellectually dishonest commenters. He and DK are just absolutely just the most toxic in their comments, and they're also the most intellectually dishonest. Every once in a while, go ahead. Sorry,
I was just gonna say, definitely they aren't trying to engage with any of the responses. So going back to what Clark said, Nepi isn't asking for like a new anatomy in 2 generations. He wants it in 1 generation because he thinks that the offspring of a specific animal has to all of a sudden come up with a new anatomy. So a dog would have to give birth to a cat, that kind of thing, because they don't understand what evolution is and how evolution works. So he won't even try to even consider that this might be something that happens over hundreds of thousands of generations. He just doesn't want to engage.
Going back to Warhammer, it's like they're basically expecting chaos mutations every generation.
That sounds like that sounds
Teenchian chaos mutations even.
Well, the whole thing about their new information is not possible. It's just so hilarious. It's like, because I asked him, well, when you're writing like this comment, you generate new information. Yes. And I think his response was, no, because alphabets already existed.
Well,
good.
And of course, alphabets did not always exist. At least not English alphabets, right? Prior to English alphabets, they came from some other letters, right? That weren't English alphabets, and then it keeps on going backwards. But somehow, no new information was created.
Well, he's the original reason why I started referring to purple space penguins, because because he talks about how it's whoever has the better argument, and so I told him that you're a purple space penguin until you prove that you're not. But purple space penguins inherently are illogical and will always lie about what they know. And since you are a purple space penguin, you'll always lie about what evidence you have. Therefore, you cannot be trusted. Prove me wrong. And his response was that nobody talks about purple space penguins. Well, I'm talking about a purple space penguin, and you just lied about that. So therefore, you've proven that I'm right. And he rage quit after that.
Yeah. So Craig
Kelly basically caught in a reductio ad absurdum that he couldn't and plugged up all his bolt holes before that.
Yeah, exactly. It's a circular argument, and that is an inherently flawed circular logic. The problem is that within his own argumentation, it's a closed loop, and since he can't get out of the closed loop by his own standard of argumentation, he can't argue his way out. But that's why he does the shifting goalpost. And that's why I said you will always be illogical, and you'll always lie about what you know. So that way, anytime that he tries to bring something up, unless he actually backs it up by an external force, unless he actually cites what he's talking about, as long as he keeps making it about himself, he can never get out of the loop. And that's why I started doing it that way.
Yeah, it seems like you forgot that only atheists lie. Christians don't lie, don't need to lie, because all truth is on their side, which is hilarious considering how many Christians lie. But I get a feeling that Nepi would just say that, well, they were not true Christians.
Yeah.
By the way, we can listen to what Craig says because Craig is a Christian. But
the way I describe this kind of basically they cast themselves as God, act like the devil to others, but end up showing that both of the former two are one and the same, and that all three of them are them in a cheap mask.
Yeah.
Just with
well, if any of that makes sense to all of you.
Oh,
so Neppy would not say Craig is a true Christian because he's hanging out with us.
My old Morris brother.
Go ahead.
Oh, you're right. Oh, my old Morris brother. Old Morris brother Tudor used to say, you know.
So he's got the Tor strain of Voldemort disease.
Yeah. Why do people hate? He couldn't understand why people don't accept evolution, because, I mean, after all, God's only worried about your soul, and it's only the human soul he worries about or concerned about.
Yes.
And he can put that in at any time. So, yeah, I mean, whether it's before they come out of the womb or after, it's the debates out there, of course, within Christendom as to when the soul happens. But how the creature gets made or evolved or happens has nothing to do with God. He puts the human soul in there, and that's what makes it divine. Humans divine, supposedly.
After school Satan club.
So it's just yeah.
Oh,
it's just that thing of
I'll wait till after this. Go ahead.
They put limitations on God. Why can't God have? Oh, look, life's evolving on this planet. Fantastic. I'm going to pick this species of smart apes to give my divine spark to.
They want to, they want to play the, they want to be that God, and they want to be that God, that character. Yet, for the life of them, cannot and will not acknowledge their own limitations.
Yeah,
they have to project their own limitations onto the character.
Well, what's fascinating about sort of the evolution of the God character, and so
it's a fan fiction self-insert, basically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. For the long time, human beings thought that they were the center of the universe. You know, the sun revolves around the earth. We are the center of the universe. God, there's this God that we use to describe the things that we don't understand. We're aware, we're self-aware. Animals aren't. Therefore, we must be the center of this God's universe. We must be special. And at every point along the way, as we learn more and more about how the world works and how the universe works and how biology, chemistry, as our base of knowledge expands, we find out that we're less and less special. You know, we're not the center of the universe. We're not even the center of this solar system. And even the things that make us on a chemical level turn out to be the stuff that's the most abundant chemicals and elements in the world, in the universe. They have to feel special. They have to feel their life only has meaning if God created them. It is the height of narcissism. And once you start to wrap your brain around that, you realize that's why people like Neppy are always going to argue the way that they argue, because they have to feel special. They have to feel smart. They have to have big boy brain. And anything that challenges that, they just cannot process.
Well, I mean, I think just to go back to what Ook said, there's no requirement within Christianity for you to disbelieve in science, especially evolution. But, I watched a lot of the Dan McClellan videos, and one of the themes that he has over and over is that everyone, regardless of their version of Christianity, or their religious text, not necessarily just Christianity, but everyone is renegotiating the text. So they bring in their own, everyone brings in their own private views and private understanding of things. And they apply that to the text. And they will, everyone, and both in positive and negative ways, will interpret that text in a way that, you know, fits in their belief system. So if you come into the text with the idea that somehow being gay or trans is wrong, you're going to reinterpret that text to say that God doesn't want that. And if you somehow get into your head that you have to literally believe that the universe was created in 6 days, and literally believe the flood stories, then you go in there into it, you know, reinterpreting the text so that it can only support the creationist viewpoint of how the world was created, how species came into being. So it really comes down to that person. You know, they're not, the text doesn't force them to, you know, think a certain way. They go into it with their own views that shape their final interpretation.
You know, Tuna, that actually is that is a point that I hadn't considered. He might be rude and condescending and shat bit crazy, but he doesn't swear.
Yeah, Kara is probably like one of the worst ones, I think, in terms of just kind of getting insulting, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Carl, well, you got them all there. Donkey, Edith. It's everything's sexual with them.
Carl. I think there's something repressed about him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that to be tongue in cheek. He seems to be showing signs of somebody who potentially is saying the quiet part out loud.
Yeah, it's just strange.
Yeah, so Blark says the text does describe literal 6-day creation. But yeah, I mean, there are plenty of Christians who take that to interpret that to mean something else. Or you know, they may just discount it. Kind of like, you know, a lot of Christians will discount what's in the Old Testament, like, for example, not eating pork or not wearing mixed fabrics. You know, they're easily willing to discount that. And, you know, the Christians who believe in science can just discount that, you know, that creation story. Because if you were going to look at it literally, you know, there's literally 2 different creation stories. So,
yep.
What is everyone's view of the most misused word that creationists use regarding evolution? Like mine is kind. You know, different kind of animals or whatever. It's the word kind. It's just every time I hear that, it is
both intentionally and incidentally couched in ambiguity.
It's like, you know, as soon as you get a Philbro mention transcendental or metaphysical, it's just sort of no, you're bullshit.
Well, I always thought the kind and it being vague really came because they're trying to defend the flood story, because they have to be able to explain how all these different kinds of animals were able to fit into the ark.
Yep.
You're right there. I never clicked with that. The Bible says it's the Noah.
Yeah, and you'll notice when was it apologetics? What was his name? The new apologetics guy that was on a
Reformed apologetics or something.
Yeah. When I called him out on the fact that he believes in a much more radical version of evolution than we do, and he goes, "No, I don't." I said, "Really? Then how did you go from 3 dogs that came off the ark to the more than 2,000 different breeds of dogs today? Speciation. Cool.
The Ken Ham super hyper ultra mega caffeinated evolution,
Yes.
as I think Aaron Raw calls it.
Yes, that's what he calls it, and it makes me giggle every time. I said, really? So define speciation. Within the definition of speciation is the word evolution. So you can't have kinds of animals as described in the flood without evolution. It's inescapable.
But they can't see that, so they do, and they just lie about it. One of the two, either way.
One of those AKJV wackadoos.
Yes.
So
Shakespearean English is the only correct language.
Well, the CP8062. So this guy, the one that was kind of spamming the evolution question, also thinks that the authorized King James Bible is somehow the definitive or the best in translation of the Bible. Every time I see this, it makes me laugh.
That wackadoodle also deletes their post every time that they get checkmated. So,
yeah, but
they're another one.
Anyone.
What's that?
I think any Christian who relies on or who thinks that the King James version is somehow the best or most authoritative doesn't care about the truth. They don't care what the word actually says.
Yeah.
Oh, to answer your question though about what word or term, theory. They love going, it's just a theory. It's like you don't understand what theory means in this context.
Yeah, Craig had mentioned that before. So
it's
funny.
in a case of terminal context blindness. A terminal case of context blindness.
Yep. Like, okay, that's not what it means here, and I think you know that.
Yeah.
Did anyone see that on the AXP video? Everything is secret knowledge if you believe hard enough.
I haven't watched that video yet, so I can't tell you.
Shield of hubris or whatever. Saint Hubris.
Hubris.
Yeah, he's the god of conservation, the saint of conservation animals and all that sort of shit. He went on about the Catholic relics, and it was so I truly don't understand why American Catholics are so strange. The rest of the world's Catholics sort of easygoing, stick their head in the sand, don't worry too much. But the American Catholics, just all the old things that the Catholics used to hold true, that were thrown out over 100 years ago, they're believing in. It's crazy. I mean, the holy foreskin and all that sort of crap. Yeah, impossible. But that was a funny one.
I'll
what's
take a
the
look at
other
that.
thing they do is abiogenesis must have happened at least once. So and I still fail to see how disproving evolution has got anything to do to bolster your evidence for God.
Yeah, that's the thing. Let's say that the whole science of evolution is wrong. It doesn't absolutely happen in the way, our current model says. Okay, now what? How does that prove God? It says nothing about God. It just, the most it would say is that somehow science got something wrong, which is not a big news.
You'd have to throw out the entire medical field as well.
Yeah, actually, Craig had mentioned how, these creationists still will take medicine and all that. I mean, without evolution or without our current understanding of evolution, almost everything we do in terms of biological research, medical research, etc., wouldn't make sense. I mean, just in terms of like what we do at a basic level, some of the tools that we use would not make sense if our current model of evolution was wrong. So, these guys are essentially taking advantage of all the scientific, medical breakthroughs, developments, advancements that we've had because of evolution. And yet they'll just, say that evolution is wrong for no reason, no evidence.
Are you suggesting that they're intellectually dishonest or inconsistent?
Oh my!
It's like flat earthers. It's like flat earthers using GPS.
Yeah, it's.
So I know Ook had briefly mentioned RB Win. So I guess he's been kind of a little more active now. And I try to, like, every time he pops in, I try to remind everyone that this guy thinks that he's smarter than Einstein and he's disproven the theory of relativity. But he comes, I guess he doesn't want me to keep or bringing that up because he'll bring it out himself. He says that he all he can do is junior high algebra, and I almost doubt that he knows how to do junior high algebra. But he says, show me one of these college graduates who can discuss relativity. Oh my God! I mean, the delusions
for sure,
of this
Craig.
guy.
All right, bro.
Yeah, I've given up speaking to him. Just go. You might as well just go and have sex with a cheese grater. It'd be less painful.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, initially I tried to kind of point out, how he's wrong, but at this point, I'm just going to just make fun of him for apparently being smarter than Einstein, but refusing to publish anything to get his Nobel Prize. By the way, I think some of you guys know, he ran for like a either state senate or maybe like U.S. representative position.
I think it was representative from memory.
Yeah.
Really?
And he obviously, I think he couldn't even get into the primaries, of course. And I think he was party to a suit to try to get the state to, I don't know. I think he has some complaint about how they did things. And also he has published things in I think self-publishing. So he has some publication available on Amazon. I did know what his name was, but I can't remember it, and I guess I never wrote it down. Any of you guys remember what? I think his first name is Robert. I think that's where. Oh, maybe it's just Robert Wynn. Maybe it's just Robert Wynn. That's why he has RB Wynn.
Yeah,
possible.
By tomorrow, I'm hoping to have my not the entire NEPI files that I have, but I've condensed it down to. I had to open two that I just called insane ramblings of NEPI, and I hope to have them all up on my channel tomorrow, because I've been getting people ask me, about the old claims that NEPI has made, and I've even got the claims that he put on his different Twitter accounts, the ones that I could catch, or the posts that he actually makes. The thing with NEPI on Twitter is that he rarely says anything. He only reposts things. It's like once a month he'll do a little spam of the exact same shit that he posts everywhere else.
Maybe that's when his parole officer is away for the weekend.
Yeah, their time online spent spamming it sort of goes in waves, and I think that it's understandable because you couldn't keep up that amount of energy continuously. But yeah, some of them must be taking a lot of amphetamine to keep the energy level up.
Well, I think I've told you my hypothesis about Neppy is that he's on some kind of mood stabilizer or antipsychotic or some kind of medication that levels him out. And every so often, for whatever reason, he either doesn't take it or he runs out of money and can't get refills in time. And so during that gap before he gets leveled out again, that's when he gets online and starts ranting. Because there seems to be about a month or so in between, maybe sometimes even as long as 2 months, where he'll come on, but it'll only be on for like maybe 3 or 4 days, and then he disappears again.
Yeah.
So that's why my hypothesis that it's not that his PO goes out of town, it's that he gets off his meds.
That'd be right, especially for a retired millionaire.
I posted a link. You see, I posted a link earlier. I can't share anything because I'm on a tablet, but can you pop that up? I want to make Christians feel, special about themselves, and that little picky will help.
Oh no!
Oh boy!
Well, by the way, I take my I take back my comments about RB Wynn and how he hasn't posted or hasn't published his theories. He has.
He has.
So he has his unified field theory, the psychology of relativity. And he explains everything by how a clock runs slower. I don't know.
Yeah.
So Einstein is wrong because the clock runs slower. And what's really weird is that, the idea of relativity is that in relation to the clock, the observer's clock, the clock of the, whatever the moving or a moving object, the clock on, let's say, a moving object is running slower relative to your own clock. So he would have, if there were like 10 observers, that moving clock would have to run at 10 different speeds. And that's what RB Wynn just cannot seem to understand. But anyway, I'll share. So this is, I presume this is what you were posting, Blarg?
That's the one.
That was one.
See that fish? It grows up to a grand old 14 inches in length. And one of the things that Christians like to put up to talk about is, we're the most intelligent creature on the planet. Our brain is 2% of our body weight. That fish has a brain that's 3% of its body weight, making it the largest brain of any known animal on the planet. It also has, we use about 20% of our energy to drive our brain. That fish uses 60% of its energy.
So that's the smartest thing in the world.
So yeah, look at, that's your superior there, people. That little fish. And it's also possible that fish, 60% of its energy to drive its brain. And it's possible that little fish talks to its friends in electric fields because it's an electric fish. So it has mild electric fields and is able to detect electric fields. So yeah, it can generate electric fields that seem to talk to other fish that are in the tank with it. So there you go. Converses in electric fields.
Interesting.
So yeah. And you just
go, electric fish.
So yeah, it's a mildly electric fish, so it won't zap you if you touch it. But yeah, it's a you can get them in your aquarium, but apparently they are a little bit of work to keep them alive. But they're yeah. So you got them saying, "Oh, we've got the biggest brain." You go, "No, that's a sperm whale." And you go, "Oh no, but in terms of body size, no, that's a Peter's elephant-nosed fish." And no, we use the most energy. No, that's a
Nope.
big elephant nose fish. So yeah, we're not special there by having the biggest brain either. Go, oops, sorry, Christian.
That's pretty impressive.
Using the most energy. I mean, wouldn't it be least energy usage to aim for?
Well, that would be a koala.
Yeah.
They,
I mean, to drive basically the most efficient use of energy to drive the brain. I mean, to drive the most complex brain, I should say.
They're both pretty efficient, but that fish has a much bigger brain than ours. So proportionally uses more. It's also cold-blooded. So as a result, we use a heap of energy to keep us warm. It doesn't waste energy on that. It just pumps us straight into the brain.
I see.
Well,
So,
it could be that it's actually its neurons are very inefficient, so it doesn't get as much
I was thinking that
actual
as well.
processing, but it uses a lot of energy.
But
weirdly,
I will point out that their response to that will be that the fish is mentioned in the Bible, because doesn't Cain ask, am I my brother's keeper?
Oh, fuck me, that's bad.
Oh man,
good work.
Thank you.
Oh boy,
Jesus.
All right, I want to.
I think I'm
Yeah.
done.
Okay. I wanted to close out. I wanted to close out with the reviews of that book. In the introduction, the author literally writes, "It has not occurred to anyone to question Einstein's work since the first explosion of an atomic bomb. That alone ought to give anyone considering reading this book fair warning that the author doesn't know darndest thing about Einstein or his theory of relativity." And then he gives another quote and says, "Okay, so this book is somewhat incomplete because the author hasn't been able to come up with the correct equations, but we're supposed to take his word for his book's accuracy." And then it's really hard to know so little about physics that literally everything you think you know about physics is completely wrong. But this author succeeds in misunderstanding virtually everything. I suppose in this world, Newton's apple fell up.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
yeah.
you know, I feel like some people would read these books just because it must be funny, right? It must be just so ridiculous. But the other book he has is Independence, and on that one he's this is the one where he gets into. Oh, actually, I didn't show the bio of R.B. Wynn here. So he's a welder who resides in
welder.
Arizona.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
yeah. Just in case you thought he was a physics professor, he's actually a welder.
In other words, for the rest of the world, he's a boiler maker. That's what.
No. He's a fitter and turner. He's
Get off.
Good food. Fixing good food and turns out shit.
I'm a fitter and turner.
He says he wrote this book during a slow period of business after the economic crisis of 2008. He registered as an independent voter the first time he voted and has never belonged to a political party. So he was pretty old by 2008, and that was the first time he voted. He became interested in overcoming the problems generated by political parties during the 1980s when the two major parties began an effort to exclude independent voters from Arizona government.
But
so
aren't Mormons supposed to not vote?
What? He's not.
He's a Mormon. Yes, he is.
He's a Mormon?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's a Mormon.
Wait, why do you say that?
Because he admitted it to me. I got a screenshot of it.
I remember that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a Mormon. That's why on his posts I say, remember, he's a Mormon who thinks he's proven Einstein wrong. Yeah, he's a Mormon.
Are you sure it's It's Mormon and not moron.
Not a book. Yeah, not a moron. Yeah.
You were a step ahead of me.
I've been in and out of the screen a lot today, but we've got an outdoor cat cage, or quite a large one, and the bloody bush turkey has decided to try and get through it to get to the food. And I mean, he's not going to get through it. It's woven stainless steel wire mesh or netting, but it just freaks the cat out. They are trainable. The good thing about Australian animals is you can.
That quote by Russell is good.
Yeah. you can train the Australian wildlife, even the goannas and the croc. You can even train a wild croc, kangaroos and all that. They're all trainable, but they'll still do what they want to do, as long as you give them food. So I think this thing I may end up having to try and find out what's a good healthy bush food for it and leave some around away from, instead of it trying to eat cat food. But yeah, it's a pain in the ass. But Australian wildlife is fun.
Isn't something like 60% of all the wildlife in Australia lethal?
I can hurt
Poisonous
you,
and venomous.
Yeah, basically it's the whole, all the plants, the fauna, they're all just basically ready to take a piece out of you, which is why we don't play with the wildlife often.
There's a YouTube shorts that pops up all the time about this guy who talks about all of the different wildlife in Australia, and basically the conclusion out of all of it is it's all trying to kill you.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Is he dressed up like a park ranger or something like that?
Yes.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
It's the thing. We don't mess with it. We don't play with it.
Like, just let it have its space.
Yeah, it's basically, okay, we've got monitor lizards or blue tongue lizards or whatever in the backyard. You leave them, as long as the snake's not impeding your access to anything. Leave it. If the kangaroos come into your yard, pop them with a slingshot, because they come in. They're a pain in the ass when you're trying to grow a lawn. They'll hop over the 8-foot fence or whatever and just eat all the nice new planted grass. But yeah, we don't try, and we just leave them. We accept they're there, because if you fuck with them, they'll mess you up.
Yeah.
But I'd much rather be in the Australian bush than I would be walking through North America or South America. Africa's actually, to me, a bit safer than North America. The animals aren't that used to people. But Australia is, we don't fuck with the animals. We follow the signs. Swim between the flags, and don't swim during stinger season, because you'll die. Even the ocean's out to kill you here.
Good grief.
I've heard Americans, go to Bondi Beach, and I'm not swimming between the flags, and the lifesavers try and say, well, it's because of the riptides. They'll take you out to sea. Oh, I'm a really strong swimmer. 10 minutes later, they've been dragged in on a jet ski saying, everything in Australia tries to kill you, even the ocean. Yep. We got the worst, skin cancer here is, even the sun will fuck you up here.
So the ocean's trying to kill you. The sun is trying to kill you. The flora and the fauna is trying to kill you. Is there anything in that continent that isn't trying to kill you?
I'm trying to think.
The fact that it's taking you this long to answer me.
I'm trying to think of a nice bird. Magpies will take your eye out. Give you concussion. Yeah, just Google Australian magpie attacks. They'll even cockatoos. They'll take your finger off or a bit of you if they're in a shitty mood. Geckos. Yeah,
okay. I'm sure they carry some disease that's gonna kill you. So
I don't know. Everyone's got geckos. We don't bother about trying to get rid of geckos in the house because, well, they eat the insects, and you can never, no matter how good your screens are, they're going to come in.
Plus, they give you a great rate on your car insurance.
Yeah, that gecko works all the time. The only annoying thing with the buggers is you got to vacuum up their shit every time. And if you got an insane cat like me, launching itself at the ceiling to try and get a gecko down.
Yeah.
Let's see, we got geckos.
All right, we got a gecko. All right, so I'm going to close out, and then I'll just give one last review of R.B. Wynn's book. So this is Judicial Review in American Activism, about the two-party system and independence. So there's only one review for this, and the review says that this book is guaranteed to make you flunk any law or history of law classes.
Okay.
So if that's what you want, it's guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Okay. All right.
Hey,
all right.
We got a guarantee here. We got 100% guarantee here, folks.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for staying on. We went a little bit over, but thanks a lot, and we will see you guys next week.
Good night, everybody.
Bye. Bye, Craig.
Yeah,
Bye,
later,
Ting.
Bye, all.
Bye, Tuna. See ya.